Okay, welcome to International Soccer Break. I have Rahi and I have Roy, and we are ready for another domestic season.
Which country?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Where are we from?
Where are we talking about? Today,
The
we're talking
Argentina,
about Saudi Arabia.
my favorite league, the greatest league in the world.
No, we actually are
The
newfound
best one.
fans. No, we're actually newfound fans of the Saudi League. But today, we're talking about another league. It's our friends over the pond, as we like to say.
They're not our friends. I don't think they're our friends. But we love their league, man. This is the best league in the world. It really is. You can't deny that. It's the most competitive league in the world. It's the most exciting league in the world. Despite my newfound love for Serie A, to all you Serie A fans out there, please accept me because I am about to become the biggest fan of Serie A. I've watched it, but I am about to be the biggest fan. But the Premier League is the one that's most competitive top to bottom. It's the most attacking. It's the most fun, Roy.
It is the most fun. It's, for me, the second best league in the world after the League's Cup. Querétaro, Lionel Messi with Miami. It does not get better than the League's Cup. Premier League is second place for me. Even though League's Cup's not even a league, man. But I'm excited. I'm excited for Premier League this season. A ton of changes, a ton of transfers, some interesting new players, interesting new rules as well. I don't know if you guys heard that they're going to implement the World Cup stoppage time rules, which is pretty badass.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that. So they're going to put actual time wasted. They're going to cut time wasting. They're really going to be aggressive about keeping the game moving. I think these are beautiful things.
We're going to get 10 minutes of stoppage time. Okay, real quick for those fans out there, either you guys can take this. I want you guys to explain sort of the difference between the Premier League style and different leagues like Serie A and some of that. Like just generally, like what is your guys' takeaway in terms of the style differentiation?
So the Premier League is a much quicker league, right? It's played at pace. It's a bit more physical, as compared to Serie A. It's really about tactics. Defense is a little bit tighter. You get more up and down games in the Premier League. The game is played at a higher speed. You also have less time on the ball, and then the Spanish league becomes more about possession based. It's a little bit, you see more individual skill, and then the other thing in both those leagues, you see a little bit more variation from top to bottom. Right here in the Premier League, you see a team that sits 20, the team that just been promoted can take points off the top 5. So that's where it gets really competitive. But for me, it's the pace at which they play and the attacking nature and sometimes the physicality that makes it a really exciting league to watch.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate there. I would describe the Premier League playing style as very, very direct. You don't see that as much in South America. You don't see that as much in Serie A. You don't see it as much in La Liga. There's a little bit more focus on movement, on kind of keeping possession. Premier League is direct. The focus is on strong pressing. You'll see a lot of teams throughout this league just pressing higher, pressing harder, giving players much less time on the ball, which makes for two things. It makes for less individual brilliance in the middle of the field. For instance, what Messi did in La Liga, just completely destroying the league.
How many times are you going to bring up Messi? Like, how many times can you bring him up in a sentence? Is the real
I can't stop talking about Messi.
About the Premier League. Messi has never played in the Premier League in the history of his life.
There's still time.
Dinner with my wife, we're talking about Messi. I don't care what happens. That's who I'm talking about. Anyways, before you interrupted me so rudely, it's high intensity. It's probably the most high intensity league in the world. You don't get that in Serie A. You don't get that in La Liga. And work rate, man. The freaking work rate, the athleticism, the physicality. That I would say is number one. It's what MLS tries to emulate, obviously at a lower tactical and technical level.
I don't think they belong in the same sentence. Like MLS and what are we talking about?
I'm done.
Like, what kind of analysis are you
guys? I'm sick of
how much talking about Messi and the MLS and the topic.
All right, MLS. All right, we're not talking. Okay, that's a topic for another time. We're not talking about MLS today. Like, we're not getting that. All right, who are we rooting for this season in the Premier League?
The only tried and true team that has stood by our American players from the beginning, and that is Full America.
Fulham.
Full America is the team
Fulham.
with our man Jedi Robinson and the old grandpa himself, Mr. Tim Ream. The only team that has valued the quality and the work ethic and the dedication that American players bring to this league. It's Fulham, the team of Clint Dempsey. This is the team that I continue to stand by. And the evil empire Chelsea is the team I continue to hate.
Okay,
For
so for everyone who's
ruining
not
our
aware,
best player,
there's
for turning their back on the new N'Golo Kante, Tyler
What a
Adams.
hate
We can
in
talk
his
about that in a
heart
second,
there.
but it's Fulham. It's Fulham, man.
Yeah.
okay.
And I like Brighton too.
Okay. Roy, what you got?
I like it, man. I went to a Fulham game when I lived in London for a while. It
Raven
feels
Cottage
like a
is
home.
amazing.
It is so beautiful. It is tiny. It's homey. The architecture is like a house. It's so beautiful. And I went when Dempsey was there, so that was an incredible experience. But yeah, Fulham is a top team. I'm going to be a fake fan and say Fulham because the Americans are there. I haven't supported Fulham my entire life, but that's a team I'm going to be rooting for. Nottingham Forest as well. Matt Turner, probably my favorite U.S. player, man. That guy's story, that guy's drive, his passion. I will be watching every game that he starts. But
The starting
I'm gonna
goalie of the
go-
U.S. national team went to Nottingham Forest for anyone
Yes.
who's not aware. And you know, there's a backup goalie on the roster too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
two
Ethan Horvath
American
on the-
goalkeepers, which is kind of crazy. But who am I rooting for this season? I'm going to stick with my team, my always Premier League team, and that is Liverpool FC. I love that they signed McAllister. I think he is a beast. I think he's an incredible human being. Go to YouTube and watch how he laughs. The sound of his laughter is just joy to my heart. It makes me excited. It makes me happy. It'll do the same for you. I want to see him laughing, holding that Premier League trophy at the end of the season. And I love Jurgen Klopp, man. I think he's had a really rough past year, really rough past couple of years. I think it's time that he comes back and shows that he is still one of the greatest coaches in the world. And he takes that title away from Mr. Pep Guardiola. So
What
I'm
jersey?
going with
What jersey are
Liverpool.
you wearing, Roy? Is that a
I'm-
Liverpool
let
jersey
me-
you're
okay,
wearing there?
okay, all right. So
Is
I'm
that
wearing
Liverpool?
the-
Liverpool blue? I've never seen Liverpool in that color before.
I
Roy.
think Roy was getting all hyped up for
I
this
was
video,
very-
so we're gonna talk about Tyler Adams getting transferred there, and then
Throw
I'm
that
so
thing
pissed
away,
off.
man.
yeah.
Throw
No.
that thing away. Burn it,
No.
man.
I'm
Okay,
burning it
so-
at the
so-
end of the episode. I am burning this crap at the end of the episode because they were going to sign Tyler Adams,
Yeah.
and now the deal is falling apart. But now it looks like it may happen again. But then Mr. What's his name? Our
Moises
famous
Caicedo.
transfer. Caicedo's
Caicedo.
going, but our favorite transfer guy,
I know who you're talking about,
Fabrizio
Romano,
Romano
yeah.
has announced that he's no longer going to Chelsea. So we are doing a jersey burning at the end of this episode, boys.
Okay. So speaking
That's
of,
what's
that's a good segue to our onside offside topic of the day. Will City repeat as champions? So City extremely dominant last year, but they had to come from far behind as Arsenal pulled another famous choke job. And so will they repeat?
Go for
The
it, Rocky.
answer is yes. They will repeat. I'm going onside because Mr. Pep Guardiola himself, the smartest man in the sport, decided, okay, I lost Riyad Mahrez, I lost Gundogan. I'm going to go get the Croatians. Bring in the Croatians, my favorite national team, aside from the U.S., an excellent, excellent team over the past 6, 7, 8 years. And he goes after, I think, the greatest young fullback in the world. That is Josko Gvardiol. He's amazing as long as he's not playing against Messi, but Messi's way far away in Miami, so he's good. And then, of course, Mateo Kovacic, who I think has always been an excellent midfielder, quite underrated. And so I think he's brought in players that actually upgrade this team as if they weren't scary enough. And signing Gvardiol is incredible. He takes attacking fullback or attacking center back to another level. On the ball, he's ridiculously good. He's the opposite of Harry Maguire. But it's City. Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Onside, they will repeat.
What a boring prediction. Matches your personality, Rocky. Very boring guy. So I'm going to say no, just for the sake of mixing things up. Man City with the 4-peat. that's going to suck, man. That's going to suck. So I'm going to go with what was happening last season, and I'm going to go with Arsenal. I'm going to trust that Arteta is the coach that he demonstrated he was in the first half of last season. I think Arsenal potentially have a brilliant, brilliant tactician leading that team. He's only going to grow. He's a very young manager. I see upward path for him. So if that is indeed the case, I think Arsenal has a very, very good chance. They've mostly retained their team. They signed a questionable, I don't know if it's going to improve or completely blow up that team, but Kai Havertz is an interesting one. Declan Rice, which they paid an arm and a leg for.
$5 billion for Declan Rice.
$5 billion. They paid Saudi Arabian money for that guy, man. For me, Declan Rice is a $40 million, $30 million player. They paid, was it 105, 110 or something ridiculous for him?
Premium. It's every British player comes around and they want him to be the next, Luka Modric, but
it's insane, man. And we're going to be seeing, I don't know if you saw Jurgen Klopp's quote about how Saudi Arabia is affecting EPL, a topic for another day, but they're overpaying. They're going to continue overpaying. But yeah, I'm going with Arsenal, man. They lost very few players. Who they lose? Shaka, who I think that's fine. Pablo Mari, totally fine. And our boy, our American Austin Trusty, who I don't think played a minute for them, and I think our other American
and Matt Turner as a backup goalie. Don't forget about that. Yeah. That's huge.
Balogun all right, still with the team technically. So yeah, I'm going with them, man. I think they retain the team. I think they sign a couple interesting players, and they will have an improved Arteta. I'm hoping. So hopefully they finish it off what they didn't finish last season. Which
I think you had the opportunity to talk about Liverpool. I think they've gotten excellent, and they could win. I mean,
but they were so far off. It's a rebuild, man. It's a rebuild season. I think they're going to be slower this season. I hope they get it together, but it's too many new players. I don't think so. I think Arsenal did slight tweaks. I think they have the best chance of competing with Man City for the title.
All right, so we got Rahi onside, Roy offside.
What do you say about Inter Miami?
Dude, why are you guys talking about Inter Miami?
That was Rocky, man. Get on Rocky's case for once.
All right. So I'm going onside. The Man City will repeat as champions. They also got this gentleman by the name of Erling Haaland, which was not mentioned in this entire program.
Oh wow!
Who's just gonna have a better season, in my opinion. Like I think he could have an equally good season as last season. So anyhow, the Premier League is off and running. We will of course be watching it. Secondarily to Serie A, we'll also watch the Premier League just as much, and just bring the best stories every week. Roy will figure out what to do with Chelsea jersey. Rahi, I don't know what jersey you're wearing, but whatever. And I will be wearing proudly my Brighton jersey this season.
Nice.
Because I love the team.
I love Brighton.
I like that.
But anyhow.
Rahi doesn't own any jerseys.
Yeah.
I threw away all my Chelsea stuff, so I own nothing now.
We'll have to get him all those $150 Premier League jerseys that they sell in the US. But all right. As always, everyone, keep watching the beautiful game, keep watching the Premier League, and keep supporting our Americans in the league.
Let's go, boys.
That was good. That was good.